All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today
Mm.
into a topic that's, well, pretty relevant. I mean, you see it everywhere. It's in the headlines. It's all over social media.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Women's sportswear. And, well, it's tricky.
Oh, it is. Definitely.
We've got a ton of research here, articles, interviews, the whole shebang.
We're going to unpack it all, see if...
Yeah, does it actually, help female athletes, be better at what they do?
The empowerment thing.
Empowerment. Or is it, is it more about...
appealing to a certain audience.
Exactly. Catering to the male gaze. So we're going to go way back, look at the history of it all.
How it's changed, yeah.
How it affects, how people see women in sports, how the athletes themselves feel about it.
And how the technology plays a role, how the designs have evolved.
It's going to be a long one, folks, so buckle up.
That's right.
It's fascinating, though. Think about it. The way women dress for sports has always been this kind of, battleground.
Between societal expectations and practicality?
Yeah. It's picture this, right? It's the early 1900s,
Yeah.
and you're trying to, I don't know, play tennis in a full-length skirt.
Can you imagine?
It's crazy. But that was the norm, right? Women had to be ladylike even when they were competing.
It's wild. It reflects the times, I guess. How women were supposed to behave, what was considered appropriate.
But something had to change, obviously. As more women got into sports, the clothes had to, evolve.
Right. They had to become more functional, more practical.
And that brings us to today, where it seems like every little detail is designed to, boost performance,
Oh, absolutely. It's all about maximizing potential these days.
Like special fabrics that wick away moisture, or those super tight suits you see in cycling and speed skating.
Yeah, minimizing drag, that sort of thing. It can make all the difference at the highest levels.
But here's the question, right? Has it gone too far?
Crossed a line.
Yeah, the line between, what actually helps athletes and what's just, sexy for the sake of being sexy.
That's the big debate, isn't it? And to really understand it, we got to look at how women's sports are presented, marketed.
Like in the media.
Yeah, exactly. I remember this one ad campaign. They had all these female athletes, amazing athletes, don't get me wrong. But the way they were posed, the outfits, it was all very, focused on their bodies, not their accomplishments.
Makes you think, right? Different sports have such different rules, too. Think about swimming, right?
Oh, good point.
Those suits are, bare minimum. But it's functional, right? Nobody's batting an eye. So is it all about context?
Context definitely matters. But we also got to consider, who's watching, right?
The audience.
Yeah, and how they're interpreting what they're seeing. Are we, as viewers, truly focused on the athleticism? Or are we kind of, getting distracted?
Right, right. So then there's the big question. How do the athletes themselves feel about all of this?
And that's where it gets complicated. Because there are so many different opinions, so many different perspectives.
Yeah, no kidding.
We were reading this article, right? And this pro tennis player, she was saying how much she loves modern sportswear, how it makes her feel powerful, unstoppable.
Makes sense.
She said, "It allows me to focus on my game, not on my clothes."
Powerful stuff.
But then, you've got athletes in other sports who feel totally different. They hate the pressure to look a certain way. They feel objectified,
So it's not just about the clothes. It's about the messages they send,
Yeah.
right? And about who gets to decide.
Exactly. It all boils down to choice. Athletes should be able to choose what they feel good in, what helps them perform their best, without all this pressure,
Totally agree. So for all of us watching these amazing athletes, what can we do? How can we make sure we're supporting them for the right reasons?
Well, first off, we got to remember these are world-class athletes. They've dedicated their lives to their sport, so let's appreciate that.
Their hard work, their skill.
Exactly. Let's focus on their achievements, their dedication,
Wow.
whether they're wearing a skin-tight suit or a baggy uniform.
It's about celebrating their athleticism, not their bodies.
Right on.
All right, so we covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
We talked about how women's sportswear has changed over time, the whole debate about whether it's empowering or objectifying, and most importantly, the idea that athletes should have the freedom to choose what they wear.
It's complex, no doubt, but it's a conversation worth having.
100%. And for everyone listening, here's something to think about. How can we, as a society, make sure we're supporting female athletes in the right way?
Right.
How can we create a culture that values them for their athleticism, not just their looks? Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for tuning in.